Mm. I think I'm just sipping a little bit of tea. I don't think I'm the only one that's been sipping tea this week. From my Laird of Dunham's Castle mug. Hello! I just thought that'd be funny. Hello and welcome to an early episode, a surprise episode of Talk of the Crown. And yes, it is my weekly live chat, and I am, in fact, a day earlier and at an earlier time as well. And I bet you're wondering why. Well, I didn't know, but Jason had actually booked an extra weekend off. So I've actually got another Saturday night where I can actually go out and do something. So that is what I will be doing on Saturday. So I thought I cannot miss another weekly live chat for 2 weeks in a row. So bring it forward to Friday. So that is why we are all here. And I really do hope that you are all getting your notifications. I hope you've been on the little reminder and clicked set reminder, because then you are guaranteed to get a notification. Oh my goodness, what an amazing royal 2 weeks it's been. Now, of course, January is traditionally, I suppose, quite a slow month. You know, the royals are kind of getting back into engagements. The Queen has only just returned to London, and of course she'll be in Windsor at the moment, but she's only just returned to work following a session day. So things should start picking up a pace now. But even so, it has been quite, I think, an eventful, certainly last week, where Harry and Meghan have been out. All of the kind of Queen's children have been out and doing engagements. It's not actually telling me how many people are in the chat room. So I am going to find it in my phone, or on my phone rather, and just see what people are, if anyone's here. Yes, you can see me. That's good. People saying I look very nice. Thank you so much. Lots of people in the room already. 157. It's not telling me on my screen how many people are watching, but I can see it here. 157. My goodness. If you are watching, please give this video a big old thumbs up. We have quite a lot to talk about. And as I started off, maybe some of you didn't see, but we're going to be sipping some tea. Serena Williams style. Oh my God, I loved it. Did you see it? Did you see the Twitter sips tea, Serena said. Now, for those of you, and I know, by the way, I think I've trained you lot incredibly well, because when I did the live pop-up chat about the 5 friends that came forward to kind of speak and give interviews in Meghan's defense, I think, a lot of you said, aha, but it was unconfirmed sources. And I'm really, really proud of people. I'm going to give you all a yellow fan flap for that, because I think I taught you all well. Yes, of course, you should most definitely always take with a pinch of salt unconfirmed sources. However, I wouldn't have been in support of the story that featured in People, the American People, about the 5 friends coming forward, if I didn't think it was true. And to me, when I was going into reading the article, I was skeptical myself. But then once I read all of it, I kind of concluded that it just had the right tone. And there were several things different about it that aren't always there in these fake stories. So, for example, yes, it said that they were anonymous, but it did go to great lengths to explain why they were anonymous. You don't normally get that. Normally you just get a royal insider says, or a palace insider this, or my source says. You don't actually normally get an explanation of why. So that was different in the first place. Secondly, the tone of it was something. It wasn't terribly sensationalist, which tells me that actually what was being said were actually direct quotes. Which brings me to the direct quotes themselves. More often than not, with these royal sources say, you don't often get direct quotes. These were proper direct quotes. And it all set the right kind of tone that, to me, if the palace had been in agreement with, that is the kind of thing that they would have sanctioned and agreed to being said. I think everything was kind of worded quite carefully, and it did look to me like it was something that the palace would have agreed to. I know there's lots of talk in the media and articles that I've been reading about that the palace didn't know, and that, you know, that they've asked the palace to comment, they haven't commented. So therefore, they're speculating that the palace didn't know. I think they did. I don't think Harry and Meghan would have done this knowing that it would come out and be quite big. I don't think they would have done it without notifying anybody or getting any kind of agreement from palace PR or, palace officials. I don't think they would have gone down that route. We've seen examples of when royals don't go down that route. For example, in the 90s with Charles and Diana, they often didn't go through the official channels. And, I think the younger royals understand that that causes problems if you don't notify people about what you're doing and you don't share that kind of information. So I believe that they did know. They aren't going to comment on it. If you ask them, they aren't going to say anything. But I do believe that the palace was in agreement. And because people were kind of doubting in the comment, well, you can't be so sure, it's an unconfirmed source. Yes, I agree. But because everything seemed to me, it seemed good. I wouldn't back something if I didn't think that it wasn't true. You know me, I will pull up all of these fake stories and I will tell you what I think is fake and what I think is real. And I did believe that this was real. And then we get Serena Williams on Twitter posting the picture, where's my tea, of her looking very glam, I must say. And she was going, sips tea. And now we don't know. We can only speculate on what she means. However, it could just be that she's simply enjoying a cup of tea. However, I do think in light of all what's been going on, I think that was her way of saying, I've spilt some tea. So good on Serena. I think, because people were kind of doubting the validity of that story, I think it was aimed at validating the story and also possibly revealing that she was one of the 5 friends that had come forward. We know that she is quite aggressive with her own PR management. So perhaps giving advice to Meghan and Harry may have been something that Serena has been involved in. We can't say for sure. We don't actually know. But I think, being a close friend of Meghan, it's obvious that if Meghan's having problems, they will probably share information, and perhaps Serena gave her a few pointers, which may have been taken on by the palace. But yes, I think Meghan was definitely telling us that she was one of the ones that spilt some tea on the whole situation. I was like, oh, child. My goodness, I just love that photograph. It's really amazing. I want to see what people are saying about it. Arnold Sanders says Thomas is going to do another interview in a London paper. I really hope not. I really, really hope not. Gehenny Hutchinson says Meghan's father and brother going to do another interview. I really hope not. Brenda Hudson says, I think her friends finally got the okay and spoke out on her behalf. Good for them. I think we also need to remember, that famous Queen Mother's quote, never complain, never explain. In other words, keep stum. The members of the royal family still today generally take that on board. And I know I've had comments of people saying, that the palace need to handle their PR differently going forward with all the bullying that's going on and all the race comments and everything. And I stand with the Queen Mother, I think, and the palace on this. I think the minute you start opening up to every single little accusation and comment, it's a bit like poke the bear. If you respond, then the media are going to poke you even more to get a response, because they don't care. They don't care whether they're poking you or not. As long as they get a story and they can sell to make money, and if they can start a rumor, that's one story. They poke the bear responds, and then they've got another story. So it's like giving them double legs. It's like giving them double airtime. So I just think by aggressively responding to rumors and giving out press releases every time there's a rumor, I think it's counterproductive. I think it kind of feeds into what the press actually want, which is more column inches. That's what they want. They want more money. They want to use you as a pawn. And I think that is what they will do if you respond to poking the bear. Don't poke the bear. However, I am in agreement with people that, for example, the palace should investigate where a lot of these fake stories are originating from. And of course, the people that are putting out hate speech, they need to be tackled. So I think targeting the individuals, reporting them to the police for hate speech, if they're from another country, reporting it to that country's authorities, tackling the media themselves if they are putting out stories in which they know to be untrue, but behind the scenes, not releasing public statements doing it. I think doing a lot of work behind the scenes, such as we've seen the palace said that they were investigating where some of these comments are coming from. That's where we got the whole be kind from the media, which is a bit hypocritical, seeing as they're the ones that kind of perpetuated it. They may not have come up with it entirely themselves, but they've certainly regurgitated it and pushed it out there, which of course has given a breeding ground to attract those people that are negative and those people that do bully and those people that do make racist hate comments. It attracts them, it draws them in. So the media do have they have had their part to play in it. And, you know, I'm glad that they're now going across all this be kind narrative. I hope they stick to it. I really do. Oh, I missed a donation. Leah, $5. Thank you so much to Leah. You get a fan flap for using the super chat feature. Thank you so much for your kind donation. I haven't forgotten about the Victorian town. Since I had all this hassle with Molly going on, I didn't get to go, but I'm planning to go to the Victorian town next week, all being well. So thank you so much. Cookies and cream, bravo, says Sweet Serenity. Thank you so much. Cookies and Cream says, this needs to be called out for what it is, pure racism. The Sun, Telegraph, Sky News, Daily Mail, Mirror, Express, Daily Star, GMB, Piers Morgan, Royal Reporter are all pushing the hateful narratives, which is kind of what I've just said, really. Let's just scoot down the comments a little bit. Wendy says, hello, magazine hasn't been mean to Meghan. Yes, hello and okay, I think, have been okay with their reporting. Okay. Candice Bavaria said, despite proclaiming you are biracial, oh, talking to Brenda Hudson. So I'm not going to carry on reading that one. Michael says, I believe this will be an unborn Wales baby on tour in Africa. I'm not quite sure I'm getting your meaning. Rose says, Meghan was always sweet to me. Emailed me once a week when my husband was in Iraq. She always had my back and I got hers. How interesting. So, did you meet Meghan since she was with Harry? Let me know. Hello from Mauritius, says Berthand. Hello in Mauritius. I wish I was in Mauritius. It sounds lovely. Angela says, do I think Meghan is narcissistic? No. I think anybody who is kind of in the public gaze could be accused of being narcissistic. I could be accused of being narcissistic because you put yourself out there. You know, you are viewed by people. You take pride in your work and you want things to be done, to be put out there that's proper and correct. If that's being narcissistic, then hey, I'm guilty of that too. I think Meghan is just a perfectionist. I think she likes things to be right. I think she likes to have control over her image, but that's okay. I do too. So no, I don't think that makes her narcissistic. I think it's just a natural byproduct of being, you know, being out there. Kathy G says, I agree. It would be the gift that keeps on giving. Say nothing. Say nothing, but maybe do a little something behind the scenes, I think. Lou Guy says, good call, so fair. Brenda says, what brother or sister would want to live next door to each other? William and Harry are individuals. Well, I live next door to my parents still, so I can't really comment on that one. But when you say next door, it's not as if, like me, you share a wall between yourself and your family. Kensington Palace as a complex is huge. I think they're two quadrangles or courtyards away from each other and like a little street. So you know, they could probably go, if they wanted to, weeks without seeing each other and not bumping into each other. It's a big complex. So it's not as if, you know, you're waving to someone across the street like a neighbour. You know, they are quite far apart. So they aren't on top of one another is what I'm trying to say. A red girl says, I've met Meghan twice at 2 different events. She was lovely and kind to everyone. Her feet were hurting and she was asked if she wanted to sit down and she declined because people wanted to see her. Well, that's kind of what the 5 friends were saying in the people interview. They were saying that she hasn't changed. She's still the same Meghan that they've always known. Yes, Prince Harry is travelling on Valentine's Day. It is a day trip. So I would imagine that it's all penciled in so that he's back for Valentine's evening. So there is no hoo-ha about Harry not being with Meghan on Valentine's Day. And we all know that one of the most important and enjoyable things about Valentine's Day is actually the evening, because that's when you have dinner, that's when you have a romantic meal and get up to whatever you want to on Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying. So I can imagine that Meghan, who loves cooking, we know from the 5 friends that she still loves doing her cooking, that I imagine she would have a lovely romantic meal ready, maybe a bath with some roses, candles, we know she likes her candles, all ready for when Harry gets back from his trip. So I think she'll be treating her man to a lovely Valentine's Day surprise. What do you think? I think she will. So no tea, no shea on that one. Christine says, what is that shiny pin you're wearing? Let me just check. This one? This one is a crown. Can you see? And this one is my my Queen badge. Oh, I've just had a anti-malware thing pop up. Hang on. Let me just cancel it because I don't want it to start scanning. Because it will slow my computer down when I'm doing my chat. There we go. I think it's gone. Oh, by the way, have you noticed my orange? I didn't have a banana. So I've written on this, oh, it's backwards, but it does say subscribe. It's my subscribe orange. So I'm going to leave that there to remind everyone to subscribe. I had no bananas. So in honor of Meghan, I've written on a piece of fruit. Carrie Coleman says, how does this fit in with never complain, never explain? Because it wasn't her that has complained. Kind of, she's done it through her friends, and what they've actually said isn't terribly explosive. It's kind of, like I said, it's well managed, and that was a clue to me that it was true, because it looks like something that would have been approved by a palace PR. There's nothing terribly explosive in it, apart from maybe a little bit tackling Thomas, where, you know, she said that he hasn't tried to contact her as much, and then she wrote that letter and all the rest of it. So that's the only bit that's kind of, you know, I think really putting people straight. But the rest of it is kind of just the thing that friends would say about a friend. So I don't really think it's terribly that explosive. However, the media can't then go to Meghan and ask her for further details because she hasn't actually given any. I agree with James Med. Leave Meghan alone. She's a woman about to give birth. Oh, did you see the video of the baby kicking? It reminded me of something out of Alien. But, oh, it's lovely. And people leave off with her holding the bump. It's just natural. She's holding a bump and that's fine. Michelle says, Kensington Palace, 775 rooms. Well, I'm not sure on the total number of rooms, but it's a big complex, so they are not on top of one another at all. Jeannie Gibbs says, I think by them responding to the church, the dad and Kate was relevant and something that was really bothering Meghan. I'm not entirely sure I'm getting the content of your question. Write that again. Michelle or Michael. Why am I saying Michelle? Michael says, yeah, about 10 weeks to go for baby Sussex's arrival. How time has flown. It has indeed. So we're thinking sort of April, possibly going into May. Cheryl says, I'm just tired of the fake news. I knew it would backlash once her friend spoke out. Rose says, no, I didn't, but I did meet her, Meghan, of course, when I went to Canada in season 3 of Suits to meet my French family members. Ah, there you go. I'm so glad so many people made it, seeing as it's a different day and different time. A Red Girl says, Meghan also spent time talking to a girl who wanted to be an actress. She told her to stay in school and mind her parents, and she could be anything. She's very inspirational, just like the writing on the bananas, which was her attempt, and I think probably would have been quite successful at being supportive and giving people strength, which I think is one of her key skills. Lou Guy says, I think Harry and Meghan need better protection and Frogmore will facilitate such an arrangement. It is in the royal protection zone. So yes, I agree. It should be very private. Even though there was all this talk about it being next to public roads and whatever, it is still in a royal protection zone. So it shouldn't make any difference. What am I wearing today? My waistcoat, some corduroy trousers. Oh, I've got socks on. Sorry, they're white socks because I went to the gym today. I usually wear dark socks. And my waistcoat, my bow tie, crown pin, and my Queen badge. There we go. Adavis says, as you and Meghan are Leos, we are indeed, same birthday, it is not surprising that you like to be in control of your image and being perfectionists. Well, there you go. Leos do like to be... We're lions. We like to be in control. So, yes, if that makes us narcissistic, then, hey, I wear the crown well. I'll wear that crown. But no, I don't think she is narcissistic. But yes, we share the same birthday, as did the Queen Mother. Beverly still says, I am now nasty negative comments on Meghan from people when I make a positive one on YouTube. I think more people should make positive comments. Michelle says, what do I think of Harry saying Meghan was carrying a big baby? You don't say, Prince Harry. We haven't noticed, have we? We haven't noticed that she's carrying a big baby. Yes, I thought it was cute. And yes, well, you can't deny it's a big baby bump. It's a big old bump. I still don't think we're talking twins. I think it's one baby, but a big baby. And I always said, if you go way, way back when people were talking about twins, I said, you know, women carry differently. And Meghan is just carrying a large because it's undoubtedly a big baby. So there we go. We'll have to wait and see how big baby really is when baby comes. But I thought that was really, really cute. Kathy G says, I live next door to my sister and mother, and let me tell you, almost every week I want to move, and I have a great relationship with them both. Well, yeah, I've got thick walls. People are laughing at the orange. Well, I didn't have a banana, so I've written on the orange. Do you want to see it again? My subscribe orange. There you go. Subscribe. I couldn't get a whole message of positivity on an orange. It's not big enough. Kat Harlem says, I think it's strange that some people accept the negative press provided by a source is more acceptable than a reputable magazine like People who chose not to disclose their source. Well, in this case, definitely. I think it has been reputable, definitely. Jay Leon says, you see it backwards so we can see on our end. Oh, so you did see it the right way. Okay, there you go. Tony Bacchus says, just got in. Glad you are keeping us straight. I will read from the beginning later. I hope you said something about her dad planning a retort. Well, I did say that I just wish he didn't and wouldn't. Angela Cox says, there is a cultural difference, just as Americans may be seen as pushy or forward to British people. I'm not commenting on that one. They are seen as being a bit stuffy and snobbish, don't feed stereotypes. But as we all know, certain stereotypes happen for a reason. However, not everybody fits the mold of a stereotype. Cheryl Harrison says, I don't know. I guess because of how everyone is treated when someone new joins the family. What do you think? Someone asked me that about why all of this now with Meghan when like it didn't happen so much with Catherine. Well, I think back when Catherine joined the royal family, they did have a go at her family background. They had a go at her more common roots and the fact that her mother was an air hostess and whatever. But, you know, Catherine was very, very young. She didn't really have much of a past to go on. And there wasn't a terrible amount to kind of criticize her for. She hadn't really put a foot wrong, or I mean, I'm not saying Meghan's put anything a foot wrong, but, you know, there wasn't a lot to go on. But now that we've got two duchesses, it's kind of like a bigger play. It's a bigger playing field. So there's more opportunity for the press to pit Duchess against Duchess, to come up with feuds, because the more characters there are, the bigger the performance, the more they've got to write about. So, and of course, we know that Meghan's attracted us so many more viewers, more diverse viewership to the royal family, mostly, I think, from overseas. So they know that to capitalize and get money, that talking about Meghan, Meghan, I think, was the most Googled woman or the most Googled royal of 2018. So they know that they're onto a winner if they start talking about Meghan. So, you know, playing Duchess off against Duchess and then the whole royal feud, it just got them more money and more airtime. So, you know, yes, the more characters involved, the more they've got to play off and spin off. But like we all know, there have been obviously, you know, some degree of racial undertones to all of it, especially with some of the online bullying which has been going on. And by the way, Sarah Ferguson was asked about it on Good Morning Britain. She was in Sierra Leone for Street Child, and she spoke. She was asked a question about it, and she said that she thinks that cyberbullying is one of the things that we really do need to tackle. We need to start at a very young age, all the way up. We have more and more people doing things to themselves because of the level of cyberbullying which is out there. And she said that, you know, she has given her daughters, Eugenie and Beatrice, hopefully the tools to deal with and equip them with the knowledge of how to deal with cyberbullying. And even now, I think, as grown adults, they still go to their parents as a team and they talk about if there's things that are worrying them and troubling them, or if they've experienced some kind of bullying or hate. So I think talking about it is one of those things that needs to be done. And we know that, you know, the Fab Four, the Royal Foundation, are doing so much work. You know, they have done and they are doing and they will do so much more work on mental health. And I think that's probably cyberbullying is one of the things that Prince William is tackling. And I think that's one thing that they are all going to be talking about in the future, including Meghan. I'd love to see Meghan addressing, actually, at some point, cyberbullying. I'm not sure if we will get to see that, but I'm kind of holding out that maybe she will. Just drinking my tea before it goes cold. Let me know your thoughts on that anyway. Nada says, hi Elliot from the Middle East in Iraq. Me and my friends, big fan to Meghan and Harry. Oh my goodness, I'm being viewed in the Middle East. Hello to everyone in the Middle East. Zion says, yes, I saw that video. The kick was really hard and visible. Okay, all these people saying that it's a fake baby bump. Unless she's got some kind of prosthetic that kicks, then that is not a fake baby bump, okay? Lugo says, alien and adorable, so funny. It was funny. No wonder she's holding baby. Baby's a kicker. Regina Bond says, yes, they need to leave Meghan alone, give her a break. I hate how she's comparing to being compared to Princess Diana, and stop threatening her, saying Meghan playing with fire. Thomas's friend had talked to TMZ. Yes, I saw the article where a lot of royal aides, I think royal aides that have been ex-royal aides that have been in service a long time to remember the Diana time. And that is when, of course, Charles and Diana both, you remember the Panorama interview. The palace was not aware that Diana was doing the Panorama interview. That was filmed completely in secret. And we all know the problems that arrived from that, from sort of the retorts that between Charles and Diana. It fueled the media, and I think what the former aides are trying to say is, don't go down that route because nothing particular good comes of it. We've seen examples of that in the 90s, and I agree. I don't really think anything has changed since then. Yes, we've got all the social media stuff going on, but in terms of, you don't want to be doing things without prior knowledge of the palace, because otherwise then they are not going to know how to respond once it all kicks off. So I kind of agree a little bit, don't go down the same route that Charles and Diana. Learn from the mistakes, I think, that were made in the past. Learn and grow from it. And one thing the royal family has done since the days of Diana, since 1997, is that they have learned lessons when it comes to that kind of thing. So I kind of agree a little bit, never complain, never explain. Christine says, is it true the Queen has stayed on at Sandringham because the accident investigation is still going on? No, she will have returned. She always returns the day after a session day. Now, a session day is the day when her father passed away in 1952 and she became Queen. So it's not a day of celebration. She spends it in quiet contemplation. Then the very next day, she goes effectively back to work. Now, because this happened on a Thursday, the Queen normally travels, I think it's Thursday afternoon, to Windsor Castle for a long weekend. And she conducts the business of state from Windsor Castle. She still sees her red boxes, but her weekend home is typically Windsor Castle. So I think she would have either gone on Thursday, on the Friday rather, back to the palace, perhaps for a little pit stop, and then on to Windsor Castle, or she would have gone directly to Windsor for the weekend and then back to work officially on the Monday. I haven't heard any reports about her staying on at Sandringham, but possibly Philip has, maybe. We know that he spends a lot of time on Wood Farm. That is effectively his retirement home, which is a farm on the Sandringham estate. So perhaps he is still there, but I don't think that's because of the investigation. I think he would have always been there anyway. Misty Fleetwood says, I wish there were people coming to defend Catherine and William when they first started dating like they are Meghan. I think things have just blown up since then. And like I say, Meghan has attracted so many more, a diverse viewership, or kind of a royal following. We've seen a lot more interest from the Commonwealth countries, as we saw, I think, when I keep forgetting the gentleman's name, but there was a young man from a Commonwealth country who was in the Queen of the World documentary. We all remember that from last year. And I can't remember his exact words, but go back and find it. I think it was episode 1, but he kind of said it really, really well. I can't reiterate it quite as well as he did, but he basically said that although in the Commonwealth countries, they are generally really supportive and of the monarchy and the Queen, and they're really respectful of the monarchy and they really like the monarchy. However, since Meghan came, they really feel like they have some kind of ownership of it because there's someone like them. There's someone that has a different diverse racial background. So they feel like they have more of a stake in it, in the monarchy. I think he described it as more of a feeling. They feel more included in it. He said it far better than I've just said it. So do go back and check it out. And I forget the gentleman's name. He was a really lovely gentleman, a young gentleman from the Commonwealth. And I forget which country it was. And I think that kind of just about says it all. It's all about a feeling, and Meghan has attracted so many more people. And I know that my viewership, just from looking at the names and the pictures of the people that comment in my videos, I know that my channel has become a lot more diverse in the people that watch and the people that are interested. My only hope is that people haven't, well, I don't mind that people have just come for Meghan, but I hope that by looking on my channel at all the other royals, because I'm not an exclusive. I know all we spoke about today so far is Harry and Meghan, but I am not an exclusive Harry and Meghan channel. I do post about all the royals as much as I possibly can. So I'm hoping that people come for Meghan, but also watch little bits of other royals, and that they're finding new royals in which they are interested in. So yes, welcome to everybody from wherever you are. Okay. Oh, and on the subject as well, I'm thinking of applying for it. I don't know, but I did have an email from YouTube yesterday, actually, inviting me to apply for a place. YouTube have somewhere in London called YouTube Space, and it's where they invite creators for seminars, and creators can go and use their equipment and film videos and things. And they're doing an event for Black creators and creators of like different diversity content. And my channel was selected to be included, so I could apply to be a part of that. So I'm definitely thinking about applying for it. And like I say, I think the only reason my channel has been selected is because YouTube must know, I think, perhaps the racial background of the people that watch certain content. So I think that they've identified my channel as being one that appeals to a wide and diverse range of people. So that's something that hopefully I may be a part of. I just thought I'd let you know. Annette says, I'm at work but couldn't help but drop in. I love you and my fellow royal reviewers. Thank you for all the outfit comments, by the way. Oh, Karen M is August the 4th too. That's your birthday. I think I'm probably quite far behind in the comments, so I do apologise. A red girl says, you and Meghan have the same birthday. How interesting. Now that I know that, I see similarities in you both. What are they? Robin also has the same birthday as Catherine. Beverly still says, yes, we Leos do. I'm the same way. Nova 49, that's a mouthful, says she's a small woman carrying a big baby and looks adorable doing it. I would agree there too. Right, sorry if I am skipping a few comments, but I want to get down a few. Lots of people talking about the size of baby, and the size of Meghan in relation to. Okay. I am just literally going down a few comments. Rita says, I'm glad we will see their Royal Highnesses on Monday at the Museum of Natural History, then in North Africa trip 2 weeks later. Yes, we have had some new engagements released, which I'll get to in a moment. And yes, hello to everyone. This is a different day and time, in case you haven't noticed. Okay, let's just... Veronica Ross says, in 3 months, it will be a year since Harry and Meghan's wedding. Yet all this drama from the media continues. Well, lower rent media, I should probably say. Publications like the Sun newspapers should be shut down and put out of business. That's one way of looking at it. And yes, it has been announced that the Sussexes are going on a 2-day visit to Morocco. Now, I did write some details because I keep getting the dates, so I wrote down the date. It's a 2-day visit from Saturday the 23rd to Monday the 25th of February. Now, this was at the request of the British government, so it is an official visit. is one that probably, in earlier years would have been carried out by the Queen, but since the Queen no longer does long travel, those kind of jobs do go now to the other royals. And this particular visit has been chosen to be undertaken by Harry and Meghan, representing the Queen and, of course, country. So a very important visit. We do not know the itinerary. We do not know the content of the visit. All the announcement said was that details to follow. So as soon as I know any more about it, I will, of course, update you and let you know. But I am intrigued. Ninova says, oh, yes, I remember that young man. I likened what he said to how I felt when Obama became president here in the States. That is kind of what I was getting from it, yes. Alicia Sims says, in addition to classism and racism, I believe there is a degree of xenophobia, and people who disliked the Duchess of... I'm getting tongue-tied. People who disliked the Duchess of Sussex from her days as an actress, but also has a part to bear in the volume of negativity. I think it's an amalgamation of all those things, and probably more as well. Linda says, isn't this the best vlog ever? Well, thank you. I think I have just commented on the assignment for Harry and Meghan with Morocco, but we don't know too much more about it. Beverly says, I think that young Caribbean man's comments were beautiful, as were those made by the young ladies who were also interns. Yes, I agree. Interviewed for that documentary, and I agree. Harry and Meghan will do a lot of good. I agree entirely with you there. Michelle says, you should do it. And Biz Burgess says, that is a wonderful opportunity. I think you should explore it. It's very intriguing, I must say. And I think the fact that my channel was selected shows that YouTube recognised that this channel does have a diverse viewership. Red Girl says, we are lucky to have a young man who's honest, with integrity and a great attitude. Well, thank you so much. Lugai says, YouTube invited you. Excellent, because you're wonderful and fair, respect. Well, they invited me to apply. So I don't think everyone gets invited to apply. So it's still a huge honour to be able to apply to it. So we'll see how it goes. Palmerly Stevens is on a break at work. Yes, I'm live an earlier time. I'm so sorry. We will talk about other royals, don't worry. Maria Barr says, I agree with you. I came to your channel because of Meghan, but I've always been intrigued by the royal family, but must admit that Meghan caused me to become a royal fan. I think that's been the same for quite a few people. Charlotte says, Prince George has the same birthday as you. Maxine came for the same reasons, and I will always report the truth. Red Girls, oh yes, because I asked for the similarities. So you said, forthright, honest, wonderful speaker, happy for you both, have integrity. What a great list of attributes. This is because we're Leos. Thank you. Carol wants to hear about Eugenie. Yes, I do have some Eugenie news. What were the dates? Hang on. Yes, Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank's wedding outfits are going on display at Windsor Castle. And it didn't give an exact date, but it did say March. So do go and check the Windsor Castle website a little bit closer to the time. But in March, their wedding outfits are going on display. So that will be really, really lovely. And of course, she wore the dress that was designed to show off her scoliosis scars from her operation. So I think that will be a really good one. If you are in the Windsor area, do go and check it out. But other than that, I don't have any other real Eugenie news. And certainly none of the pregnancy type, which I think everyone's kind of wanting. But not yet, not yet. Robin says, Meghan is working her butt off, and it just took Catherine a bit longer to get her feet on the ground. I think it's an age thing. Don't forget, Catherine came to this at a lot younger age, and also experience level as well. Catherine hadn't really had an independent life before becoming a royal. Yes, she'd had, you know, a few jobs here and there, but nothing in the same way. Meghan's, you know, come to this as a woman, you know, a fully grown woman with a history and a past and a working history, and you know, having made it by herself in the world. And it was different for Catherine. So they came to the royal fold through different means. And, you know, of course, they are different people and they are going to tackle things in their own way. And there is no right way or no wrong way. And I don't think they should be compared. They just did it their own way. And I'm really, really happy that both of them got to do it in their own time and their own way. Rita says, oh, talking about YouTube Space. It's a nice place. Joel and Leah have popped into the YouTube Space. I like hearing about Princess Anne and Princess Alexandra. Princess Anne, as we know, is a tireless workhorse and has been attending engagements too. Hello to Amy Kimball. Karen Love says, I think Meghan is trying to get lots of things done before she's due to give birth and goes off the grid. She's a real trooper. I think even when she's on maternity, she'll be working behind the scenes on things for when she's back. Yes, Meghan, Princess Eugenie's wedding dress will most certainly be on display. Thank you for the suggestion, Red Girl. Robert Gray says, do you think the assignment to Morocco is a sensitive one? I mean, as with any foreign countries, it's a diplomatic one. You know, Morocco, I think, will be fun, actually. I think they'll totally roll out the red carpet for them. I think they'll be involved in lots of fun and colourful events. But knowing Meghan and Harry like we do, I think they will have requested to I mean, even though this is on behalf of the British government, we know that on overseas tours, sometimes they can stipulate kind of what they want to see with the itinerary. And I think we'll get to see a lot of real life from Morocco. I think we'll get to see a lot of real people, real charities, real towns, you know, real people, possibly even in their homes. I think we'll get to see a lot of real life, not just perhaps what Morocco want to put out there. I think they'll try and scratch the surface and see what's beneath, and really get a chance to further the connections between Britain and Morocco. The one that is a lot more sensitive is Charles and Camilla visiting Cuba. Now, there was talk about it in the press months and months and months and months and months ago, saying there was possibly going to be a Cuba visit when they did their Caribbean tour this year. And the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, did let slip to somebody who then leaked it that they are indeed going to Cuba. So that has kind of been confirmed by the Duchess, although not confirmed officially by the palace. But yes, Cuba is on the agenda, and that is a sensitive one, probably way more sensitive than Morocco. So two very interesting tour stops, I think, to look out for. But I'm definitely looking forward to Cuba and Morocco, and we'll see how they play out. Thank you for all the positive comments. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to read all of them out, but I do want to kind of get down the comments so that I'm fairly up to date with you all. Kat Harlem says, has Meghan worn a tiara since her wedding? Not that we know of. Maybe in private, but not in public that we know of. And yes, Harry and Meghan both looked amazing at the Endeavour Awards last night. I hope you saw my video on that. I agree with Arnold, all the protocol outrage that goes on. With the royals, there is no big, I said this before and I'll say it again, there is no big book that's, you know, this thick with all different royal protocol. When Meghan joined the family, or Catherine, they weren't handed this big rule book and told to study it, and you can't do this and you can't do that. Basically, the royals are kind of told to find your own way. I think, was it Prince Andrew? No, it was Edward. I think Edward recalled once that on his first walkabout, he wasn't told what to do. He was just kind of said, walk down there and say hello to people. He wasn't told how to do it. They wanted, they like the royals to find their own way and their own pathway. So yes, there are kind of rules and protocols when it comes to formal occasions like state occasions. And there are things that for example, the Queen does, which are just kind of her own tried and tested ways. Like, for example, having your hemlines weighted down to stop the wind. I mean, those aren't rules. Just, if Meghan had a gust of wind and it blew the skirt up, she hasn't broken a royal protocol by not having weights sewn in. That's just something that the Queen does because she knows it works. It's kind of like take it or leave it. You can either follow the example or not. But there isn't that many royal rules that actually need to be followed. So yes, I think people do need to leave off this royal protocol outrage. I remember one when she wore black nail polish. There is nothing to say that they can't wear black nail polish. There's nothing to say they can't wear black. Linda says, you be wearing a tiara in the bath. It's always a tiara moment. Yvonne says, I hope they will come to Jamaica soon because we are a Commonwealth country too. I think they'll work their way through the Commonwealth one step at a time. But I'm not expecting any major overseas tour this year. Little mini ones, like Morocco, the odd 2 days or 3 days here and there, maybe. But because of maternity leave and then obviously getting back to work in September, I don't think we'll see any major overseas tour, like, a week tour or a 2-week tour until possibly 2020 now. I think 2020 is fair game, but I don't think we'll see big overseas tours this year. No, I've no information on Samantha's book, but I'm going to give it a fan flap. There we go. It gets a fan flap, especially if it's a book literally just kind of giving out horrible things about Meghan. But we'll see. Sorry if I'm skipping through a few. Brenda says, is it a protocol that Meghan would get to wear a tiara even though she's not in line to become queen? No, members of the royal family can wear tiaras whenever they want. There is no rule defining it. However, in this day and age, they don't generally wear them to, for example, film premieres like Diana used to. They usually just reserve them for state occasions like a state banquet. So the next time or whenever Meghan is invited to a state banquet with Harry, that is when we will typically see her wearing a tiara. I agree, Karen. Kudos to the moderators. They're on the job. Yes, thank you so much to my amazing moderators. You really are the best. Rock Payne is recalling the moment that the Queen had a tough time in Morocco. I think I remember this one myself too. Left alone in the blazing sun for hours waiting. Parasol. Meghan needs to pack a parasol. or a Beyonce wind fan. Why not? Barbara Kay says, you never say unnamed sources unless you're confident they are true, so we all know you are reporting the truths. Thank you. And I think Serena's tea sip kind of confirmed that story as being true. Well, it does to me anyway. Let's sip some tea. Rose says, hi there, I watch you all the time. You're the best. Thank you so much. What's the brooch? It's the Queen. Can you see? You probably can't see because of the light, but it's the Queen. Oh, thank you to Lugai, who has donated $6.99 Canadian dollars. Who says, thank you for being a great guy. Thank you so much. You get a fan flap. There we go. Thank you so much. And that will go to my Victorian Town Fund. Thank you. SC 1964 says, "Hi Elliot, great to see you live. Are you usually live on a Friday? Sad to hear about Molly. Hope she's doing better." No, because I'm going out tomorrow, so this is an unusual time and day. But next week I will be back to my. I promise I will be back Saturday at 10 o'clock GMT. Molly. Oh, okay. I will do a Molly update. So I took her back to the vets on Monday. They did another little unblocking. And yes, she did actually manage to go. I'm talking about the toilet, of course. And since then, I haven't. Well, I've seen one little present, shall we call it, in the tray. So I think her colon is working, but I still think she's very sore down there. So I think she's kind of holding on to it a little bit. And that's where we're at now. So if she presents any more problems, it's back to the vet. And we have a planned checkup on Tuesday. So hopefully they'll feel her abdomen and hopefully we won't have any problems before then and they'll say that she's okay. But she is still on softener for the inside. So hopefully we're getting back to normal. But we'll have to wait and see. We're taking each day as it comes. But she's very happy in herself. So thank you for asking about Molly. Mrs. BSN09 says, when having dinner or outings in private with the Queen, are they dressed accordingly and do women wear tiaras? I think at private dinners, probably not, unless it's stipulated. But I wouldn't imagine there's many occasions when that would be stipulated, unless they've got maybe a really important guest, maybe. Okay, lots of talk about the Cuba visit. Maria Barr says, I would like to see Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie more involved in official duties. They both have grown much and come into their own as compassionate, dutiful young ladies. What do you all think? Well, you know my opinion on this. I do think they should have more of a formal role. They're not our only blood princesses, but they are the younger ones that we have that are of an age where we could make use of them. And I think it puts them in a very difficult position, kind of being princesses, but not necessarily working royals. I think there is enough work to go round. However, I've always said that I think that once William, Catherine, Harry, Meghan are all at full capacity, then there may be a chance for Beatrice and Eugenie to be used to their full, to the nation's full advantage, I think. And we kind of know that perhaps Charles has an opinion of having a more slimmed down monarchy, but as and when some of the older generation are sadly no longer with us, that's going to leave quite a lot of charities and royal patronages without a royal patron. And I kind of agree. I think it looks better having a more slimmed down monarchy, but in practical terms, I don't think it also looks good to leave a lot of charities that had a royal patron without one. So perhaps there will be scope in the future for Beatrice and Eugenie to be used to the nation's fullest advantage. Thank you to Gessie Francois, who has donated $20. Thank you so much. You get a fan flap from me. Thank you so much. It really does help. Thank you. Sorry if I'm skipping a few. Will Meghan wear a tiara in Morocco? I don't think so. I haven't seen tiaras being taken on too many foreign trips lately. Okay. Again, thank you to everyone for all of your kind comments. People wishing Molly all the best. Thank you so much. Which tiara is this one? It is the lotus flower, which Catherine often wears. Robin says, I didn't mean to compare them. They are different people. I admire Catherine for taking on the hospices for sick children. I couldn't handle that job. My hat is off to her. Well, of course, they always play to their own strengths, and they always kind of try to target their engagements and what patronages they take on to their own skill set. And I think we've seen that recently with Meghan taking on the National Theatre, and, you know, they've all taken on roles which play to their strengths. Michelle says, I thought Meghan looked wonderful last night. When you were 7 months pregnant, there is no way you could catch you in heels or anything that wasn't stretchy. She did a very good job walking in those heels, I would agree. Rita says, I really enjoy watching and participating in your channel. Well, thank you so much. I don't know about any other overseas tours yet, only the little bits and bobs which we have had leaked recently. Cheryl says, I can't wait for Princess Beatrice to marry her boyfriend. I don't think marriage is on the cards yet in that relationship. I think they're just kind of still getting to know each other. They're still very much at the dating boyfriend-girlfriend stage. Museum Freak says, I saw a special on the BBC and they showed the playhouse of the Queen when she was a little girl and it was adorable. Maybe one day you can go there and show us a video of the place. I would love to do so many more trips and excursions and, of course, take you along. Yes, the Sussexes are going to Morocco, and I keep forgetting the dates. It is. I've got so much in my head. Okay. The 23rd, Saturday the 23rd of March to Monday the 25th. So that's a 2-day visit on behalf of the British government and the Queen. Floss and Rog Payne says, the Queen later entertained Morocco's king on board Britannia. I wish we had one now. Hashtag give the Queen a new ship. And blew his socks off with pomp and circumstance after his pig ignorance. My goodness, strong words. But yes, Britannia would, I think, woo anybody. And I definitely think we need a new one, especially in our, uncharted waters that are ahead. I think we do need a new royal yacht, but not necessarily, obviously, just for royal usage. I think it would, call it what you like. Call it a trade ship if you want to. Call it the royal trade ship. But I do think having some kind of vessel that we could send out across the world to woo people and woo other nations would be good in terms of business going forward. Like I say, we are in very uncharted waters at the moment. But I do think, an investment in our future would help. And of course, having the royal connections, give it that little bit of magic, which I think would help with things going forward, with forming new trade relationships with other nations and other countries. So yes, hashtag give the Queen a new ship. Put it out there. And also, I think it would make the nation feel proud to have a new vessel to send all the way around the world representing us. A little piece of Britain floating around the world, doing business and bringing business back. I think there are some stats on Wikipedia about Britannia where in the last was it 10 years or 10 years of its life, billions and billions of pounds worth of investment deals were signed on board. And I think that just about says it all. It would be a good investment for the nation if we had a new royal yacht. Karen Mitchell says, Prince Edward and his wife have become one of my favourite royals. Harry and Meghan will always be number one to you too. Misty Fleetwood says, I think the same thing about once the older royals either pass or retire, then Andrew's girls will become working royals, so charities aren't left empty. I think Charles will see that as and when the time comes. Thank you for all the comments on Molly. And yes, Arnold Sanders says, in that video where the baby kicked, Meghan looked so beautiful. I think she did indeed. Brenda says, the Countess of Wessex is someone we do not hear enough about. Do you have any information on her? Well, whenever I find out about the engagements that she does, I either include them either in a royal roundup or I give her own video. So do look out for any in the future coming up. I haven't heard anything in particular of major importance this week. EAO says, did we get a vlog video this week? Did you get one? You got one last Sunday, and you're going to get one this Sunday too. Again, so sorry if I'm skipping a few. Oh, I think I've made it down to the bottom actually. Martin Gahan says, all the adult royals do amazing work. I would agree there too. Wendy says, I love the Countess Sophie as well. Elliot has reported on her many times. I have indeed. And I will bring you more Sophie in the future. Floss and Rog Payne says, wonderful to have a floating consulate palace, British soil, wherever we go. I agree. I think we need one now. I think there is actually a need for one right now. Mary Brunn says, if the UK got a new ship, I would wonder if people would complain about it. Well, of course they complain about the cost, but it's an investment. You send it around the world, it brings back business and investment, it helps jobs, and it helps people's livelihoods. So, you know, it's a little bit of a trade-off. It's an investment. And I think the way around it is to call it a trade ship, call it a royal trade ship. That would do it, I think. Rita says, I finally got the following of Kensington Palace on Twitter. I can check out stories. It is a really good source. Linda Reynolds says, my cousin Michael worked on Britannia. He told me as they crossed the equator, one of the blokes picked Princess Anne up and threw her in the pool. They had lots of fun. I've seen images of Charles and the royals going down the slide. It looked so much fun. I would have loved to have experienced it. And I really want to go and see Britannia up in Edinburgh, because of course it's there kind of as a museum, really. So it'd be sad to kind of see it just birthed, but hey, it's a piece of history that I would like to see. Anything new on William and Catherine? There are some engagements announced, which I will go to in a moment and read. Okay. Do we know any more about Harry and Meghan's children not getting royal titles? No, we know absolutely no more than what we did before. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. And I agree, the kicking tummy video was quite something. That was a very big kick. I don't think I'd like it inside. Oh, can you imagine? H.A. Bracken says, you should go to Edinburgh. The Britannia was fascinating. I would love to go. And yes, they did use Britannia as a hospital ship. They converted it, and it served that function and then returned back to a royal yacht once it was done. Terry Turner says, I saw some negative stuff on Facebook, having a go at Meghan about letting her friend speak up. There will always be negative stuff somewhere. I think it's getting to the point where we're going to have to just start really ignoring it, I think, as well, and don't give it any credence. Okay, I am going to go to, where are we? I'm going to go to where all of the new engagements have been announced, and I will read some of them for you all. So let me go to it, because there were so many. They kind of so many today that I haven't been able to put them in my diary, because I do always transfer them into my diary. So let's have a little peek. So I've told you about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex visiting Morocco on the 23rd and 25th of February. Full details to be announced. I will bring you them as and when. Harry, the Duke of Sussex, England rugby patron, will attend the England versus France rugby match at Twickenham Stadium on Sunday the 10th of February. And prior to the game, the Duke will meet rugby volunteers and children taking part in the All Schools programme. And then on Wednesday the 13th, Harry again will attend a reception and take part in a Q&A session with England Rugby Union co-captain Dylan Hartley in aid of England Rugby's Try for Change programme and the Johnny Wilkinson Foundation. On Wednesday the 13th of February, the Duke of Cambridge will join volunteers at the Passage Charities Homeless Resource Centre in a lunch shift and hear how integral volunteering and community support is for the organisation and their clients. Kind of reminds me a bit of the sorts of engagements that Diana did. William, the Duke of Cambridge, will visit 2 programmes that support men with their mental health and well-being on Thursday, the 14th of February, 2019. So it's looking to be busy. And I think they include the Pall Mall Barbers in Paddington, Central London, who are members of the Lions Barbers Collective. The collective have come together to raise awareness for the prevention of suicide and provide training for barbers. Hashtag Barber Talk, it says there. On his second visit, the Duke will visit a session called Future Dads that was set up by the charity Future Men. And you can follow them at Working with Men 1. This programme is run in locations across London, aiming to build stronger families by providing practical guidance, advice and support. And that's all the new engagements that we have released thus far. So we have quite a lot going on and quite a lot to look forward to. So I will be busy. Lou Guy says, yes, I ignore all the negativity, always avoid them, unsubscribe to them on YouTube too. I would agree. I think you should do that. James Med 4 says, if there is a new ship, it should have multiple uses, not just a yacht. Well, I agree. That's why I would call it a trade ship. Definitely like a floating embassy to send around the world. But I still think it needs to have those royal connections for it to have that magic. And thank you to everyone who's watching. 433, my goodness. And it's a different day and time as well. Floss and Log Pain says, let's have a swear box. And people who mention Meghan's estranged family or any negative views or gossip have to cough up $10. I agree. I'm with you on that one. Yes, and if you can't ever love yourself, how can you love one another? Can I get an amen? Thank you for the I look sharp comment. Thank you so much. I agree. I do love a swear box. Brenda says, Arnold, I think Doria is taking the lead from the royal family. Just to ignore those negative statements. I would agree there. Lots of amens coming in. How is my cold? Still a little bit phlegmy. Thanks for asking. A little bit phlegmy. Oh, lots of amens coming in. I'm liking them. I felt all RuPaul then. Okay. Everybody say love. Everybody say love again. Can I get a love? Okay, I'm done with the RuPaul. Oh no, imagine the 2 Duchesses on RuPaul's Drag Race. Can you imagine what he'd say? He'd say, 2 ladies stand before me. Only one can continue. That'd be so funny. It's time to lip sync for your life. Can you imagine? Meghan and Catherine in a lip sync battle. Oh my goodness. Oh, lots of love coming in too. Thank you for all the love. I think we need to share the love. Sharing all the love. Oh, Jamie sent a dove. Thank you for the dove. Well, a dove of peace. I like it. The dove of peace. Lots more love coming in. I'll take the dove. The dove of love. Okay, now, how long have I been on for now? Do you know what? It seems actually quite longer than an hour and 10 minutes. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've missed a week. Now, is there anything that I've in particular missed out on? Let me see. Oh, yes. I did miss out something. News on the women from the Hub Community Kitchen. Remember Meghan's cookbook? They have won an award, which I think was really, really good. It's the Andre Simon Award. So a big yellow fan flap, a congratulatory fan flap for the women of the Hub Community Kitchen. So congratulations on your success. It's been 2018 was an amazing year for the ladies of the Hub Community Kitchen. And I think I've been through everything that's on my list. So over to you guys. I think someone asked about Sandringham. What was it? Will I go to Sandringham? I would like to. I'd like to visit everything. In fact, I'd like to stay at Balmoral. You can rent out little cottages at Balmoral, and you can stay. Obviously, when the royal family aren't there. So I would like to visit. Perhaps there's so many places to visit. Okay. Lots of people sending congratulations. No, I'm not drinking my tension tamer tea. The cats go. Although I have had a bag of catnip delivered, which I'll show you what happened in my weekly vlog. Do I think it's possible that Meghan and Catherine will have an engagement together? It's possible, but like I said, they do have their own separate private programs of work. So it would have to be something perhaps for the Royal Foundation, maybe. What are my thoughts on their children not getting royal titles? Well, they will get them eventually when Charles is king. There will be HRH and princes and princesses. So it's coming anyway. So really, all the Queen would do if she stepped in would just be to speed it up a little bit. So I think that's entirely up to the Queen. I will leave that to her judgment. Pooty Griller says, group cruise on the QE2. Group cruise on Britannia. Shall we all go to Edinburgh and steal Britannia? And we can all sail it away and then bring it back. No damage done. No, I do not endorse stealing Britannia. That is for comedy purposes only. Okay, people talking about Albert Finney. Again, my constellations go out to family and friends. Lovely one says, I'll be on that cruise. Oh, I'd have loved to have sailed on the QE2, just like Hyacinth in that episode where she took Richard on. Oh, bad news about poor Richard. Clive Swift, he passed away. I think he was 82. Oh, I feel like a piece of my childhood has died with him. I hope Patricia lives on. Long live Patricia. Long live Hyacinth. Jamie says, I'll captain the ship. I know how to handle the water. Royal Britannia, I agree. Have I ever met someone of the royal family? No, I haven't. But I'd like to. Do I think Catherine will have another baby? Yes, I do. I do think she'll have another baby. I've always just had a feeling that she'll go for baby number 4. I think that'll be enough then after baby number 4. Of course, we don't know. She hasn't said. But I'm thinking baby number 4. I just get a feeling that there's one more to come, perhaps. But, maybe a pregnancy announcement the end of this year or early 2020, maybe. Yes, Dame Patricia. Long live Dame Patricia. Pouty Gorilla says, I shook hands with Her Majesty when you were 9 years old. What a treasured memory. Was it a gloved hand? Trudy says, I've been watching the Whitaker testimony and you love your channel. This testimony is a bad joke. Well, there we go. I haven't watched that. Okay, let's have a little look. Rita says, I still want to get a copy of the cookbook from the Hub Kitchen. Congratulations to them. I think Amazon. Just try Amazon. Jamie says you can send donations by carrier pigeon or just use the super chat facility. Who is my favourite royal? Living royal or deceased royal? Living royal, I think my favourite. Oh, it's got to be the Queen, hasn't it? It's got to be the Queen. She's amazing. What happened to the Hub Kitchen? Well, it's still going, but the ladies won an award. Jamie says, is that an orange or a tomato? It's an orange. And because I didn't have a banana, I wrote subscribe on my orange. So it's my subscribe orange. So please make sure you subscribe. In the same style as Meghan with the bananas, but I had no bananas. So an orange will do. I know, poor Richard. Richard! Jamie says, if you didn't say the Queen, I'd have unsubscribed. I knew you'd say that. Oh, you were wearing gloves, but she wasn't. Okay. Sweet Serenity says, Diana will be and continue to be your favourite royal. I think she's beautiful. I mean, I think even out of Catherine and Meghan today, I still think Diana has the edge on beauty. She was stunning. James says, oh my God, didn't even see the writing. Yes, I wrote on it. Look, the same as Meghan. When she wrote on the bananas, it says subscribe. It's my subscribe orange. I would have done it on a banana if I'd had one. Marina B says, you are totally awesome. Lots of love from the US. Well, thank you so much. Oh, I love Hyacinth. You know, it's my dream to have a Hyacinth bungalow one day. My dream, when people say, what's your dream home? I know this isn't about the royals, but Hyacinth is close enough. Hyacinth is TV royalty, to me anyway. So when people say, what is your dream home? And people often say, you know, mansions and castles and palaces. My dream home is Hyacinth's bungalow. Oh, I would die to have a replica of Hyacinth's bungalow. If I had land and enough money, I would build an exact replica of Hyacinth's bungalow and live in it with the herringbone parquet floor, the highly polished wood block, the dado rail, the little niche where her phone is. In fact, I have the phone. Wait there. Wait a second. Okay. This is going to blow your socks off. I have the phone. This is the Hyacinth phone. Not the phone actually used in the series, but this is the same type of phone. So yes, this is the Hyacinth phone. So should we make it ring? Okay, it doesn't actually work. Sadly, I plugged it into my phone line and it didn't actually work. So I don't know whether it's the wire or not. But anyway, I have the phone. So the bouquet residence lady of the house speaking. I love it. So yes, I have the phone and everything. So I would have the little phone niche in the little kitchen and I would always sit facing the window. Yes, my dream home is a Hyacinth bungalow. Mrs. VSN says, I grew with a phone like that when you was younger. I think lots of people had it. Jamie says, I would build an exact replica of Buckingham Palace. You need lots of Lego bricks. Yes, Karen, I have the phone. Look, isn't it amazing? Imagine it on the wall. Okay. And this is the big long wire that she gets wrapped up in. You remember when she gets wrapped up in the wires? Yes, I love it. I just want it to work. Or else, you know, it has the same ring, but it just needs to work. I need someone to get it. I bought it off eBay, of all places. I tracked down what the make of the phone was, and I found it. Oh, you made a donation. Oh no, I've missed your donation. My little pop-up thing has gone. Okay, type what your donation was, and I'll say thank you. EAO would love to live in Clarence House. Jamie says, it's funny seeing the phone next to the iPhone. Hyacinth would have the iPhone XS Max. Yeah, look. Wow, look. Look at the difference. Hector Bracken says, no, you acknowledged it. It was about half an hour ago. Yes, I did. I remember now. I did. Yes, you are right. Mrs. BSN says, you had a cord that reached into 2 rooms. My goodness. No, it's not the Chinese takeaway. No, you cannot have a number 23 and an extra portion of extra spicy prawn balls. I am not the green dragon. Goodbye. There we go. Regina Bond says, Victoria Arbiter said that people have royal protocol wrong. Royal protocol has more to do with formal ceremonies. Where to sit? Yes, which is what I said earlier on. Jamie says, I can't imagine using that horrid white ghastly thing. Horrid white ghastly thing. This is a slimline touch-tone telephone with automatic redial facility. And for those of you that want to know if it did actually have automatic redial facility, it did. Look, it has, where my finger is pointing, a recall button. So it did actually have automatic redial facility. So there we go. It's my pearl white slimline touch-tone telephone with automatic redial facility. Invite us for a riparian entertainment. Yes, a riverside buffet with riparian entertainments. Yes, Jamie, automatic. It had automatic redial. I want it. Can I get Facebook on it? No. Mrs. Gibson says, oh my God, get the phone set that was not redial nor a push button. Yeah, it's true. That's what they based it on. I think they actually found the phone and then wrote the script. It's amazing, isn't it? It's antiquated but special. And yes, perfect for my candlelight suppers. Oh, how do I feel now? Oh, I haven't got 75 yet. Have I crossed on to 75,000 yet? I'm nearly there. It feels amazing. I just can't believe 75,000 friends. My goodness. Who can say that they've got that? Not many people. I agree. People get tradition confused with protocol. Thank you to Wendy. Wendy says, I had that very phone. I really want to get it working. I need someone who's good at technology to find out why this does not work on my normal line. Is it the phone or is it the line? I have no idea. Oh, Geetanjal Singh has donated $5. Thank you so much. You get a fan flap. Thank you so much. And I'll give Gessie an extra fan flap because I think she missed it the first time. So thank you so much to Gessie. I do remember saying it now. I did. Okay, I've got 100 to go until I'm 75,000. H.A. Bracken says, when I first started watching, I had about 5,000. I remember when I had about 5,000. Is my phone heavy? No, not really. Not really. Bring it to the museum and start with carbon dating. This is in 1994. It's got its whole life ahead of it. No, actually, it must be in 1990. No, this is in No, it's in 1989. It must be. It must be in 1989 because they bought it before they started filming. It's in 1989. Okay. I am going to go now from this week's chat. But I will be back next week, live at 10 o'clock on Saturday, 10 o'clock GMT, of course. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. And if you've made it this far into the chat, thank you so much for sticking by. Like I say, I will be back next week taking all of your questions on the British royal family and more, which is why I put the and more as well. So for the final time, if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love, how can you love anyone else? Can I get an amen? Give me an amen. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media and also hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. I will also be posting and doing a premiere chat of my weekly vlog this Sunday. And also, please do make sure you are subscribed to this channel. I need to make 75,000 subscribers, so please do. So from me in Shropshire, Mwah! Goodbye to you all.